Hello and welcome to What's the Deal Tutorials. It's me, Deal, and we're here with Final Fantasy to teach you all about crafting. Now, crafting in Final Fantasy XIV may seem complex, so we'll go ahead and start with the basics, like where the crafters are, how to join the guilds, and what each guild roughly does. We'll talk about the stats of the crafters, why it's important for you to keep up on your gear, foods and other buffs, the crafting menu, how to navigate it, and what it's trying to tell you, also where to get your supplies. And we'll end by crafting something together, looking at the menus that come up, and some basic buttons and skills that you'll need just to get started in crafting. And we'll start our look at crafting guilds with the Leatherworkers Guild here in Old Gridania. It makes leathers, light armor, and jewelry, amongst other things. And next is the Carpenters Guild in New Gridania. With this class you can make weapons, tools, lumber, and the lion's share of furniture. Here in the upper decks of Linza, we find the Culinarians Guild, and this is where you can learn to cook your own buffs that will aid you not only in crafting, but in combat and gathering as well. If you're looking to craft weaponry, almost all of them are made by the blacksmith. And as for the armor, that makes the heavier variants of armor, things for tanks, dragoons, and so on. And here we are at the Steps of Thal, at the Goldsmiths Guild. This makes most of the jewelry in the game, as well as a few tools and weapons. And here we find the Alchemist Guild, also located in the Steps of Thal. This is where you can make a variety of potions, medicines, as well as random components to sell that many other crafters do need. They are also able to make a few magical items, as well as restore Orchestrion rolls. And our final guild, conveniently also in the Steps of Thal, is the Weavers Guild. Here you can make all manner of cloth items, some of which will be made for mages, gatherers, crafters, as well as everybody for the use of glamours. So if you're interested in beginning your adventure as a crafter, you need to go to the guild receptionist of the respective guild that you're interested in. Talking to them will unlock your first quest, and you will be given your first tool to go ahead and get started. So let's begin by understanding the three important stats that a crafter has. There's craftsmanship, control, and CP. And we'll begin with CP, control points. Think of this like your mana, but for crafting. It allows you to use all the abilities that you're going to use while making something. And next we have control. This determines how effective moves like touch are, anything that will increase the quality of your product. And finally we have craftsmanship. This is your ability to actually put the object together and to create more complex things. It enhances things like synthesize. With an understanding of stats, it's important to note that your gear is the main supplier of them. So please make sure while you're going through your adventures that you are upgrading your crafting gear. Your gear will be the difference between an approachable project and a frustrating one. There are other ways to get more stats for your crafters, such as eating food as seen here. Now this is a lower level food, but any of them will enhance your craftsmanship, control, or CP in some way and are worth looking into. Another type of buff you can use is medicine, such as this syrup here. It also enhances your stats. One very nice thing is that food buffs and medicine buffs do stack with one another. It's important to note though that medicine buffs last a shorter time than food buffs. And the final kind of buff comes from crafting stations. To use these you must have a home, and then go and click on the station. If you are under level 70, you will get bonus CP for crafting. And now with our crafting class unlocked and an understanding of the stats, we can go ahead to the crafting log. To access this, we go to the log and then select crafting log. From here, we can find all the recipes that we will make. And from here, we can see what materials we're going to need, like the shards, the crystals, and the clusters and their types, the raw ingredients, the amount that we have in our inventory for normal and high quality, the difficulty, the durability, and the current quality that's obtained by the high quality materials added, as well as the maximum that we can reach just by giving high quality materials. The game also tells you the recommended craftsmanship. There's a button for practicing making the material, a button for synthesizing it, which you'll press to actually get started, and when you've already made this, you can quick synthesize it if your skill is high enough, and do it automatically. Finally, the crafting menu tells us how many we can craft, as well as how many is in our bag of normal and of high quality. There's a second page to the crafting menu. To access this, we press the icon which looks like a star in a little bag, and we'll see many other recipes. And here are master recipes, special items that are created from special materials from a special book that you get from Owina. And next we have furniture. Though Carpenter makes most of the household items, every class can make furniture. And here we have collectibles, special items that you turn into Rowena to get scripts so that you can buy nice gear and those master recipe books. And here we have custom delivery side quest items, Beast Tribe side quest items, crafting story side quest items for later levels, and Ishgardian restoration items. And lastly we have dyes. Now these dyes are shared between all crafting classes, and they are not all of the extra dyes that you can make that are not sold from the vendor. There are still some that you have to get through special means, like buying from the Final Fantasy XIV online store, or sending your retainer out on quick exploration and hoping to get a special box. Now in Final Fantasy XIV there's a useful ability called Search. For any item you can look through all of your inventories to see where it is. For crafting that is especially useful. We can use that information to find the ingredients that we're looking for, so let's go ahead and look at Grey Pigment. As we can see, all of my inventories are open, including my retainers, which are blocked out right now. If the item is found, it will not only tell you which one it is on, it'll also tell you which page it is on. But let's say you don't have and can't make what you need. What do? Well, you'll need to go get supplies. And the first place to look for supplies is the guild supplier. Conveniently located next to the guild receptionist, this NPC has all of the basic materials that you'll need for low-level items. But what if this and the other guild suppliers don't have what you need? Well, you can go to other NPC vendors, like this one. This vendor is slightly different than the one that you can get within a home or an apartment. Though they have many of the same materials, this one has slightly more. So try checking this one out if the one inside of your house doesn't have it. Now, if these NPCs don't have what you need, and you took the time to do one or more beast tribes, you should head over to their NPCs and talk to them and see what they have available. Sometimes they have just the thing that you're looking for. But wait, there's more. NPCs, that is. They're around the town, and some of them have supplies that no other NPCs have, and some of them have supplies that only NPCs sell. This is an example of one right here. But what if you can't find the item? You've looked at this NPC, you've looked everywhere. You even looked on the Eorzean database. But it's nowhere. There's one place you can still look. If it's sellable, it's on the market board, and another player is selling it. To use the market board, we can either enter the name directly with partial match on, or click the buttons below which give us the category of items. Then we'll be able to see the item that we're looking for. Now something to note here is the shop selling price. If it has a shop selling price, you can find it at an NPC, and if it has the words restricted, that means it's behind something like the material supplier or a beast tribe. But what if even the market board failed you? Well, there's one more option, and that's for you to go out in the field and get it yourself with a gathering class. Going out into the field and gathering will get you the raw materials that you'll need. Now there's one final way that you can get special items for crafting, and that is to desynthesize items from higher difficulty content. Now I won't be going over desynthesizing in this video, but it's taking an item and breaking it down into some of the components that you can use again for something else. Now let's assume we got all the materials we need. What's next? Well, it's to actually craft the item, so let's go ahead and get started. We'll go over everything while crafting super potions, and the first thing we need to do is find super potions. Now you can find it in the Alchemist tab, or you can click the little icon right here and search for it by entering its name. And if you had searched this item before during your play session like I did, you can go ahead and click history and it'll take you right to it. And with that done, let's go ahead and start crafting, and we're greeted by the end crafting menu. And the first thing we'll talk about is step. This just tells us what turn we're on. We're on the first turn. We haven't done anything. Then there is durability. This tells us how many actions that we can take before the item destroys itself. Now there are ways to increase the durability while you're crafting, but keep in mind, if your durability reaches 0 before your progress bar fills up, you will fail to synthesize. The progress bar tells you how much of the item is done. Once it fills up, you're done and the process stops. And below that we see quality and the corresponding HQ, high quality percentage. As you fill up the quality bar by performing actions, you will increase your percentage to get a high quality item. Right now we only have 1% to get the item. But if we increase the quality, we can get that up to 100%, where we're guaranteed to get a high quality item. Next is condition, and this tells you when it's right to do a quality increasing move. There are 4 conditions: poor, normal, good, and excellent. When you do poor, you have a debuff to your quality move. Normal, nothing going on. Good gives a buff to quality increasing moves, and excellent gives a huge buff to quality increasing moves, but will always be followed by a poor condition. The last two buttons are calculations and quit. Calculation brings up a menu which tells you how effective each one of your moves is going to be, and quit allows you to quit prematurely and lose some ingredients. With the in-crafting menus covered, let's get started with actually making the potions. Just so that we can focus on the basics, we're only going to use some of the abilities up to level 50. And we're going to start off our crafting with Inner Quiet. This is a level 11 ability which gives you a buff to your control each time that you increase the quality of the item. And the next ability we will use is Great Stride. This is a level 21 ability which will increase the efficiency of the next touch action by 100%. But it only applies to the next one, and it will be active for 3 turns. Next, we use Innovation. This is a level 26 ability, which for the next 4 turns will buff your touch action, any and all, by 50%. Now that we're completely buffed up, the following action is going to be our first touch, the Basic Touch, which is something acquired at level 5. Now, upon doing this, we see a nice increase in quality, and we have a 6% chance to get a high quality item now. The next move we're going to make is Standard Touch, and the reason why is because it combos with Basic Touch. If you use Standard Touch after a Basic Touch, it only costs 18 instead of the normal 32. And now we see another big increase in quality. And our high quality percentage is 12%. Let's wait for a better condition before we apply another quality increasing move. And to do this, we are going to use Observe. It takes CP and progresses the step without doing anything or taking durability. Many uses of Observe later, we finally have our good condition. If we use a quality increasing move this turn, it will be 1.5 times higher than usual. So to make the most out of this condition, we are going to use Fire God's Blessing. This consumes all of our stacks of Inner Quiet and applies a huge quality increase to the item. And with this we have a quality of 26%. We're not quite done, but we note that our durability is down to 50 now, so we can use the ability Master's Mend to increase it by 30 back up to its cap of 80. So we're going to max out our quality and get the high quality percentage to 100% by applying Innovation and our Basic Touch combo again and again until we're done. Now we are guaranteed to get a high quality item. There's one problem. We don't have any progress, so let's actually complete the thing. And we'll start by activating Veneration. This is akin to Innovation, but for synthesis. And for the next 4 turns, we'll receive a 50% buff to all synthesizing actions. Now, while we're not going to use it, I would like to talk about Hasty Touch. If you have no CP left, you can still use this ability to try to increase the quality of your object. There is a catch, and that's it only has a 60% chance to succeed. An ability that is not as useful here, but still useful overall, is Final Appraisal. We began by increasing the quality and then finishing the progress at the end. This ability allows you to focus on the progress and then increase the quality at the end, because it stops progress from going to 100% for the next 5 steps. Now we can see that Final Appraisal has been used and we only have 1 progress left, so we can go ahead and use Basic Synthesis to finish it off. And the final thing that we will showcase is Quick Synthesis. And to do this, we will go ahead and make 15 potions. Now there are some things to note about Quick Synthesis. And that's that high quality materials won't make a difference. You can't do it for collectibles and you can't do it for furniture. Now my inventory is open so that you can see something. The materials are only taken while the item is in the cycle being made, and that means that you can stop the process and not lose all of the materials, just the ones that have gone into making potions or whatever item that you're making already. And that concludes our crafting together and our time in the workshop, and it also concludes our video. We went over a lot, like the crafting guilds, where they are, how to join them, your crafting stats and how to buff them, the crafting menus, both to find something to craft and while you're crafting itself, getting supplies, and a basic rundown of the skills along the way. If you found this useful or enjoy the content, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. I'll see you out there.